What is up, everybody? I'm No Lex Given here with your afternoon snap, and today we're going to take a look at one of my favorite current decks, Kingpin Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer, I think, is pretty good right now. There's a lot of people that are playing this deck. There's just so many cards that cost 3 that you can build your Silver Surfer deck in so many different ways. And this is the way that I decided to play it. A little bit silly, but if you can catch some opponents off guard, it's pretty nice for a few cubes. On turn 3 this game, I'm going to lead Brood into Gamma Lab. You gotta go for it here, and we're going to snap it off with that play. This seems pretty dang good to me. There is a lot of counterplay in this deck as well. We've got Juggernaut, Cosmo, Goose, and potentially even Storm. All 4 of those cards can be used to play around Shang-Chi if I'm worried about all of my Hulks getting destroyed. So that could be something that we want to do this game, just like Juggernaut on the final turn to keep my opponent out of the Gamma Lab. But we also have access to Kingpin and doing some silly stuff with Kingpin this game. So I am going to set up for a big Kingpin play. That's what really this video is going to be spotlighting, because I think a lot of players might be more familiar with the Silver Surfer plays. By the way, they go for the turn 4 Shang-Chi, so I cannot Juggernaut it. They're going to get in under the Juggernaut. So Kingpin actually has to do a lot of work this game, awkwardly. Goose could have protected me, but I drew it a little bit too late. But I'll still run out the Goose and the Lizard this turn, and now I'm setting up for making a big Kingpin play. That's really all I got going for me. I can Polaris the Nebula into Danger Room, and then I can Juggernaut whatever they play into Attilan out of Danger Room on the final turn. And just gotta hope that they want to stay out of Danger Room, because there is some risk involved with Danger Room. It's a pretty good location to throw your Kingpin. I'll talk about some other good locations in just a second, because now they might be incentivized to play to other locations, and then we can move them into the Danger Room. So that's kind of the plan. If my opponent just plays to the Danger Room this turn, I could lose. I could definitely lose. I'm only going to have 11 power in that location, so they could potentially get me here, but we're going for it. We are going for all 8 cubes here, or all 6 cubes, because I already lost 4, but let's see if we can claim those cubes back. My opponent plays a Lizard, and it does die in the Danger Room, so it's kind of what I was talking about there. They're also going to play a Typhoid Mary and an Ebony Maw, and Polaris is able to drag in that Nebula. It is also going to die in the Danger Room, but Juggernaut will kick out that Typhoid Mary, and we'll be able to grab a win in both of those locations, and that was enough to get me back in it and allow me to eventually win this conquest. I mentioned other locations where Kingpin is good, and New York is a pretty good one, because you're going to stop your opponent from moving in cards to New York and being flexible, and obviously that's doubly effective if your opponent is playing some type of movement deck. They were planning on doing a whole bunch of fancy stuff on the final turn, and Kingpin just says, nah, that ain't happening. So this is a good one. The one thing you will have to pay attention to for New York Kingpin games, you gotta play them on turn 5. All the cards move over at the start of the turn before any cards are flipped over, so in order for Kingpin to stop those cards, I believe that you'll have to play Kingpin on turn 5. But there's also some fun plays that you can get away with turn 6 Kingpin, and especially when you have priority. So we're doing pretty well this game. I'm gonna play Lizard and Silver Surfer just to maintain priority going into the final turn of the game, and giving me a decent amount of power, but kind of baiting my opponent into playing in the Avengers compound with that Lizard play, because my opponent's going to want to fill that location up so that way they can shrink my Lizard and potentially grab a win in that location. And I'm already winning by 11 in Nowhere, so it's probably pretty unlikely that my opponent plays to that location, and anything that winds up in the kiln, I don't care about. They can have as much power as they want in the kiln. The important thing here is Juggernaut is going to ensure that we win the compound, and Kingpin is going to ensure that we grab a win in Nowhere. And it would have been fine if some of my opponent's cards landed over in the kiln, but We'll take a look here at exactly how the pieces fall. And part of the reason for this play too, my opponent's deck could play things like Taskmaster to grab all of the power from a pumped up Deadpool or Venom. So that was definitely potentially on the table, but we play the Kingpin and then we play the Juggernaut, and this is just beautiful. All three cards flip on over into nowhere, and Kingpin says, we're not even gonna take a look at them. I'm just blowing them up. Don't even worry about it. And we are able to get the win with that. That's gonna be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lex Given. Peace.